So he goes up to Victor Wembanyama, sizes him up, and he's already thinking, I'm going to say a prayer to the gods and hope it works out for the best.
This is Joel Embiid at 16 years old. This is the same guy 13 years later, fresh after scoring the easiest 70 points in an NBA game I've ever seen. The crazy part? He did it in 37 minutes only. However, one could have expected him to have a night like this against the Spurs. Okay, maybe not 70, but a huge game was written all over this match. Let's get into the reasons of why I think this was the easiest 70 points ever.
Embiid dispatching Victor and jamming it down.
So Philly start the game with Oubre setting a pick for Embiid, wanting him to get a touch in the post against Wemby. But the rookie cuts the pick under prematurely, forcing Champagny to switch. He goes there in full speed, reaches in, and Embiid immediately shows why he is one of the best of all time at drawing fouls. Why change what works? Philly run the same play, Wemby is again too worried about the post-up, and Embiid asks for the ball up top, making this a face-up ISO with two people on both sides. Maxey and Oubre shuffle their positions, canceling the stunts, and Embiid puts Wemby to sleep with the hesitation, creating enough space to rise over the wingspan of Wemby. On the other side, Spurs are raining freeze to start, and after an early timeout, Nick Nurse runs a weave DHO play which ends with two Sixers best players, Embiid and Maxey, involved in classic Phillies pick and roll. I say classic because only one opponent is on the weak side, Wemby is in a drop, and Vassell gets punished for helping too much. We all know that Embiid is unreal, and there will be a lot of examples why. It's simply unfair the way he moves at this height and weight. It's a static one-on-one against Wemby, where he mixes a hesitation move into a step back while raising up for a shot falling away. Insane. Later on, he gets a rebound, and Sohan denies a pass to Maxey, so Joel flows into another direct matchup versus Wemby. He goes for the step back again, but this time shot fakes, intelligently confusing the rookie, who had to be thinking about what happened 20 seconds earlier. Quick reminder, if you get in the air against Embiid, game over. You are looking at a guy who averages the third most free throws per game all time. Now Popovich calls for time, giving Nick Nurse a chance to drop another play. Tobias does the Iverson cut and Batum receives. This two-player movement opens up the whole left side of the court for Embiid to just duck in and use his strength against Wemby, who is 70 pounds or almost 30 kilos lighter. Smart from Nurse, as French phenom is at least 3 years away from having a chance in this one alone. Of course, I exaggerated a little bit when I said I expected Embiid to score 70, but the Spurs is definitely a matchup he enjoys. First of all, there is no one in their front court able to hold their own against him. Collins subs Wemby and tries fronting Embiid, but the Cameroonian pushes him around like a toy as the Sixers execute a nice high-low play that converts into an and one. On this night, it often looked like a 12th grader playing against middle schoolers out there. Embiid collected 9 offensive rebounds during this game, as neither Jeremy Sohan nor Zach Collins could offer anything against it.
Embiid up and in. Great effort from the big fella underneath.
Just bigger and stronger than everybody else.
But the thing that makes Embiid unstoppable is that he can be a bully in one possession and show off the most beautiful touch and movement for a guy of his size in the next one. How many 7-foot guys who weigh 135 kilos can do that? Just look at this, between the legs, cross, setting your opponent up with the hesitation, making him back off, and boom, little fade midi. Oh, and check out the release point. How are you stopping that? Well, the Spurs said let's double him, and proceeded to do it poorly. On this empty corner pick and roll, McDermott rotates over from the weak side, Osman comes to double. Notice how McDermott is playing defense with his hands high up, not wanting to give up a foul. However, this impedes him from moving his feet, and it allows Embiid to get around as he somehow manages to get this shot in.
Throws it up, didn't even look at the hoop, and still able to finish.
Center finished the first quarter with 24 points in 12 minutes. In the second, he played way less, but gifted Wemby a lot of lessons nonetheless. First, he gets Victor into an early foul trouble, drawing his third. Cross screen gets Wemby chasing, he doesn't bite on the first fake, but gets in the air on the second one, and his reaction tells us everything. Then it was a pattern jab into a mid-range with the double coming over late, and after all, what can Sohan do here? NBA is really looking at an unstoppable scoring machine. One factor factor that might go unnoticed but helped this historical night to happen is the fact that the center could relax on defense, ignoring Sohan on perimeter, spending most of the time roaming near the paint, helping when it was needed. It definitely saved his legs until the end and helped to make a few of these mid-ranges. Here, it's Maxi Embiid again against Wemby's drop. Sixers again play to the side of two, leaving this one guy in a complex situation, and this short midi is always available. I think this game was kind of the real welcome to the NBA moment for Wemby. Sixers run the same pick and roll again, Embiid misses, but watch Wemby leaking out as a football forward for an outlet pass. His teammates don't get the rebound, it leaves Embiid with Sohan under the rim, and that's going one way only. Enjoying this video and want a chance to win Giannis jersey? Subscribe to our channel for a chance to do so, as we're giving it away once we hit 150k subs. Now, I'm not sure if Embiid checks Twitter during halftime like Steph Curry does, but the way he came out aggressive in the third quarter makes me think he might have found out what Karl Anthony Towns was doing in Minnesota. It's the same matchup again. Early post up against Wemby, double is laid, and it's barbecue chicken alert, quoting Shaq himself. Later, it's another ISO versus Wemby, and it's the story of the night all over again. Watch Victor's feet. Pattern hesitation move forces him to back up fully, giving enough space to raise over his wingspan. And Embiid wasn't missing any of those. He made an insane 10 mid-ranges in this game alone. The big question for Philly all game long was actually quite simple. How do we get Embiid to catch the ball in his spot near the free throw line? Nothing worked as effective as that pick and roll to the two-man side against the drop. Wemby or Collins were in the drop all game long. All it took was one jab to get them to back off. Still, this is an unreal shot making we are witnessing, as he finished with 24 out of 41 from the field.
Embiid, 52!
At this point, he knows he's on a record pace, and he goes back to the bully ball phase. Spurs show 1-2-2 zone with Sohan in the middle, and the Sixers respond with, remember the Iverson into a ducking play from the start of the video? It works again as Embiid catches it under the basket, and that's job done. In this zone, Sohan is responsible for all of the middle area, as we see him going higher and lower according to the position of the ball. But the Sixers are faster moving it, and Embiid has no problem against Collins. Despite the amount of mid-ranges made, my question to you is simple. Was it the easiest 70 points ever or not? Because the Spurs badly lacked cohesion in collective efforts against the most dominant one-on-one player right now. It's a double drag, but instead of setting a pick, Embiid runs inside, gets a good position, Wemby tries to get in front, yet Batum delivers a superb pass, erasing his efforts. Later, it's Collins 3/4 in front, but with all the other Sixers guys super high up, help is late, and the center gets closer to the record. He made 24 field goals, but only one was three-pointer. Shot clock running late, spin into a sidestep switch.
Embiid from outside, tying his career high, 59 for the big fella.
Yeah, KD was right. NBA is at its peak talent and shot-making wise. So it's the fourth quarter, Embiid has 58 and Sixers are up 12. He checks back in with 6:38 remaining, and Philly know they're winning this one, but wants Joel to break his career high, which was 59, and a franchise record of 68 held by Will Chamberlain from 1967. The Spurs are still playing their part too, putting poor Sohan on Embiid and leaving him alone as the guy has 58. He fouls, and Embiid's own career high gets broken at the line here. Later, it's the same pick and roll to two-side again as Embiid catches above the free throw line, and it's like shooting practice. What can Sohan do here? Why the Spurs are not double teaming him immediately? I have so many questions right now. Wells Fargo Center know they're witnessing history and does not want anybody else to take a shot until Daniel House Jr. misses a free and gets booed by the crowd.
Junior, too strong from three.
Crowd does not want to see anybody but Joel.
So in the next play, point guard Maxi makes sure Embiid gets the ball against Sohan. What move he goes into? You guessed it right. The hesitation pull-up, as Spurs don't double a guy who has 62. He's insanely good at this game of basketball, but come on, San Antonio. You're not even forcing Embiid to use one counter move all game long? Really? At the same time, Spurs stayed in the game making shots offensively, and with 4 minutes remaining, something clicked for them. They realized realized Embiid wants the franchise record, he ain't passing the rock. We see Sohan in Joel's grid right now, two players coming to double finally, and the center trying a different shot. So all of a sudden the Spurs are trying. Sohan gets through this maxi screen, pokes the ball away, and later challenges this layup attempt. He misses and the Spurs go the other way, and it's only an 11-point game. The weirdest part about this game is that San Antonio started playing serious defensively with 4 minutes remaining. Philly tries that Iverson duck-in play for Embiid for the third time in this game after a timeout, and the weak side help finally arrives. Later, they even force Embiid to catch the ball with his back turned to the basket and then sends a double team forcing him to pass out. What is going on? But despite the Spurs making it a little bit tougher for him late, Embiid still got the record. There's a situation where you can't send double and where Embiid is unstoppable, and that's the transition. First, after a rebound, there is a transition cross match and Vassell is up against him, so he reaches in, sending him to the line for 67 and 68. Later, Embiid makes a great defensive interception, and Keldon Johnson has no chance of stopping this freight train from finishing his mission.
Coast to coast for 70!
So after watching this video, do you think this was the easiest 70 points ever? I'm not trying to take anything away from Embiid. He was phenomenal and is the perfect example of the modern era greatness. A 7-footer who is dominant in the paint, but also moves like a guard with his hesitation pull-up game. But even thinking about the recent examples, Lillard had 70 with 13 made threes. Donovan Mitchell made 7 of those, while 6 of them were after dribble. Embiid got 10 mid-ranges, but many of those were the same shot or poorly contested. So let's have a discussion below in the comments section. Don't forget to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.